Hello, YouTube. We are back again. Well, I am back, and actually, no, we are back because, you know, we have guides and support that we can't even see. So, we are back, and I'm here making this video today because I want to talk about one of the biggest topics that have to do with spirituality and consciousness and really increasing your awareness, and that is the ego. A completely, I would say, it's part of us, you know what I mean? But it's a completely a- different aspect of us, that we're not really able to kind of separate, and it kind of lives with us. It's basically our conscious mind, you know, trying to express itself, and most of the time, for a lot of people, it's very egotistical because it's all about me, 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 you know, and me living in Miami, I really see that because just to give you an example, in traffic, when you're driving, you never have anybody, you barely ever have somebody give you the right of way so you can pass in the car. So, people always have this big ego, and it's also because it's a lack of unity, in consciousness. Everyone has so much separation in their minds about, race, color, culture, that, you know, people fail to see that we're all one being and we're all supposed to be working together as a team to spread awareness and evolve. We're all human beings, and we're all on this planet to evolve. So that's that's kind of the main gist of that point that I was making. But going back to the ego, in my experience, my ego, I guess I have to give a little backstory about, who I was before my, you know, you could say awakening or increase in awareness. And when I started the quest to reality, right before that, the person that I was, a little backstory. I used to go out a lot, party a lot. You know, I was always, doing, living the teenage life, clubbing, doing this, doing that, and buying stuff, going out all the time, even just to go to a friend's house and just eat shit, and I really didn't know where I was going in life. All I cared about was the fun that I was having. And, I was, all I cared about was myself. I was not worried about giving back to anybody. You know, I wasn't worried about my family. I wasn't worried about being of service to others or, shedding light into the world. You know, all I cared about was, my image and the image I was portraying to the world. How did people view me? And one second, there's a truck passing by. Yeah, bye. Well, that's it. Actually, it was my the people that cut my grass. But going back to the topic, I was just very this kind of person that didn't really care too much about what I was actually doing to people. I was just caring about the my image, my social image. That's all I cared about. How I looked. You know, I would spend so much time worrying about my image of, like, physically how it would look. That would be my main priority most of the time. And then also my main priority would be where I was going, what I would be doing going out, and I wouldn't really put into consideration, my family, and things that I could be doing that could have, could really have helped, you know, let's say people in need, cousins or some charity work, and I was avoiding every single thing that was calling me, every single priority that was going to bring me into a better life. I was postponing it. I wasn't prioritizing that. I didn't care about work. You know, all I cared about was me and having fun because I felt like I needed to have fun because I didn't have enough fun in my life. So that was a really big problem for me until finally, you know, one of those times where it hits you, the energies of of this expansion that's happening in the world, it hits you, and to the point where you're just like vibrationally, you're no longer a match to whatever it is you were doing. And I feel like that happens a lot to people. And actually, I just got an idea of making another video about that, because I know a lot of people have to deal with that too. But actually, no, that I'm gonna put it in this video because I feel like that has to do with the ego death experience, which I call it. And I feel like it's a part of your spiritual path and or your conscious journey where you know the person you were, we're all energy. So energetically speaking, you've raised your vibration. You're thinking more positively. You're doing more positive things, and you're no longer, living in the past or, worrying too much. So a part of you kind of shifts. And sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just the shift that's happening just shifts your energy and it's an increase. And so you're like, whoa, what's going on? Like, and you start to feel different. Now, not only do you start to question things and, you know, how do you say, while you're still doing let's say the things that are not benefiting your highest good, let's say you keep on going out, you keep on having fun, you're not really worrying about your purpose yet. But inside, it's kind of getting heavier. You're feeling that heaviness. You're like, wow, now, not only am I going out and just, wishing that I was doing something else, now you're actually feeling it. You're feeling as if, man, I can't be here. This doesn't even feel like me anymore. So going back to, my backstory, I would be going out all the time to parties. That was my thing, and I was really enjoying myself. And to the point where one day I went out, to meet up with my friends and go out, have a good time clubbing, and I felt internally that I was no longer a match to whatever the heck I was doing. The people I was with, the topics of conversation that we were having, you know, the things that I would normally like, to do at the club and, things like that. It no longer had an effect on me. I was no longer, how do you say, for people that most people know what this word means, but when people are like, "Oh, that's lit," or like, "It's fire." Oh, yeah, let's keep on doing this. Let's keep on doing, like, keep on having a good time. When you go to a rave and you keep on dancing, and you look at your friend's like, "Yeah, man, this is lit," right? And they just keep on dancing. They're hyped. They're really hyper. And I was just there, like, the music was actually good. I acknowledged that it was good, but a part of me was just like, you know. I don't mess with that anymore. Like, I don't need that anymore. Get me the heck out of here. This is not what I want to be doing. And in essence, it was my higher self speaking to me. You know, my my connection to my guidance. It was kind of steering me away from that. It was telling me, look, listen, bro, you need to rethink whatever it is you have going on in your life and really put into perspective what it is you want for your future. And I was feeling that those are the questions that I mean, those the questions that I was asking were in regards to that idea. So as it started happening, like many of you know, you're doing your normal daily routines and you start to just feel different in your normal routines. Like there needs to be some change, or you need to let go of the people that no longer are, matching you. People are going to feel like, wow, why am I friends with this person? It's because you're no longer matched to them. You need to let them go. And it's part of your ego dying. Your ego is literally fading away little by little, and you're not even noticing it. And if you didn't even know about the whole, ego topic and what's going on, that part of you and it's literally your conscious self. It's that personality that you came down here with and that you built, you know, more and more as society pushed you to believing certain things. And it's a culmination of all the opinions and just actions of and experiences that you've been going through in life, and it builds this person that you think is yourself, when in reality there's a genuine, authentic, loving self inside that you can let and spread out to the world, where you actually become a beacon of light. And that's what I'm preparing myself for, to be the fullest, you know the fullest, brightest light that I can be for everybody, you know, and leave myself, my conscious personality, not completely aside, because don't forget that, my previous videos I mentioned that we came down here with a blueprint and who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to express ourselves, in our own individual way, very unique and personal. So I feel like we still need to keep those kind of traits to ourselves. Like, for example, I like, fashion, clothing, and I always, just like, the aesthetic appeal of things, the physical beauty that, and things that you see on a normal basis, in fashion magazines, Winwood. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but just art galleries. I just like, you know, that part of our world and our lives. So I enjoy that, and I feel like that's a part of myself that I need to express because it goes with me. You know, it goes with my expression, who I am, and where I want to go in life. My purpose, and it all ties into spirituality, because you know I'm putting myself out there right now on YouTube, and I'm sharing my ideas, what I believe, and what I've been going through. But I'm doing it in my own way. I'm not being overly spiritual, which I will definitely make a video about that, because there's a huge separation going around with, like, the whole consciousness movement, and then you have the spiritual people that are very spiritual, and very cultural in their beliefs. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like there always needs to be a balance. So then there's that. And then besides from that, the advice that I can give, is as soon as you start feeling as if you're dying consciously, you know, like your ego is dying and you're losing that, part of yourself, you need to let go of the space. You need to accept a part of yourself because you're transforming, and it's all, part of the journey. There's much more that's going on a subtle level that you can't really. My bad. Give me a second. There's people are just goofing around in my neighborhood, as you can see. But going back to the topic, I'm sorry about that. I just had to let them pass by. I don't know how loud they were gonna get, but yeah, like I was saying, this is a really big process of your, awakening, and when you start increasing your consciousness, parts of yourself are gonna fade away, and you're gonna actually genuinely want to be more loving and kind, and that's also gonna come with the learning that you'll be doing throughout this whole process. You'll be learning more and more things. But my one of my biggest advice that I will give in every single video if I can, if I remember to, is come from a completely unbiased perspective. Don't necessarily follow a certain thing completely, Be completely open minded to every single thing, question everything, and really only connect with what resonates to you truly, but at the same time, um, keeping the unbiased, perspective on things, you know, not following one thing and being like for example, saying that, oh no, you have to be vegan because, that's the only way you can do it. You can't eat steak. Don't you dare eat any bit of meat. Listen, if you are vegetarian or vegan throughout the entire week, but on the weekend you want to have, let's say, some sugar sweets, or let's say your favorite snack, that's, let's say it's chicken or salmon, then go right ahead. If you feel like, you'll enjoy that and it's not going to affect you in any way, then go ahead and do that. But if you have other, there's a time for everything. This is a journey. Everyone knows this already, and it's not gonna be from one day to another. It's gonna be sometimes months and sometimes years for some people. So it all depends on how much you're prioritizing this path and this journey, and how bad you want it, and also how aware you are being of what's actually happening. Like I said, on a subtle level, you're not going to be noticing a lot of things that are happening within your body until later, when you're like, man, why can't I? For example, this is what happened to me when I was just eating whatever I wanted to eat. I suddenly started becoming lactose intolerant. Like, I used to love milk. I used to drink a cup of milk or a cereal every single night with regular, milk. And then I started to notice that every single time that I would drink milk, just a slightest bit of milk, I would get mucus, or I would get, like, I'd feel gassy inside my stomach, and I'd be like, what's going on with me? Am I getting sick? But it kept on happening only when I had milk. So I was like, okay, milk and cheese have to go bye bye. Dairy is not for me. So your body's gonna be telling you things like this, along with, you know, you're gonna get these weird feelings when you act a certain way with people. Okay, my bad though. I think I went a little too off topic there, but again, my main focus for this video is the ego death experience. And a lot of people say that they have an ego death with drugs, which is so true because, before I've tried the drug, LSD, and to be honest with you, that kind of, I wouldn't say I consciously chose it to assist me with my spiritual journey, but when I started questioning things, I did trip on acid or LSD, and it really kind of jump started that ego death. I was already questioning things and feeling like I needed to become more, you know, loving and peaceful, but just taking that trip in general made me question so many more things at a quicker pace, very accelerated, and just let go of who I was trying to become and just be who I really am deep inside. And that comes with the inner work. You have to do the inner work, within yourself, so you can really see your true potential. That's the only way you're going to do it. So, whether it may be researching or connecting with other people spiritually, you know, or people that just are looking for the truth. That's what this channel is, for, to begin with, for people that are looking for a truth, or an unconventional truth that most people push away or shy away from. And this is to, spread that and build a community of people that want that for themselves and like to discuss different paradigms and frames of mind. But, it's not that, it won't be that big of a deal. You're definitely going to change. You're going to become more peaceful. And just, my advice is just to go with the flow, accept it, accept that if any of the things that I'm going to say in the following sentence, which is if you're seeing numbers synchronistically, coincidentally, and your diet, you feel like your body's changing, you're not liking the certain foods anymore, and you're actually becoming a different person without you even actually wanting to, and you're feeling very different emotionally, then if you have those three factors, which I think are one of the mainest factors you could have, then you are definitely on, or you're being called to a different, path in life, and you need to listen to that. If those things are happening to you, you know, open your mind up, forget about whatever is going on in your life, not everything, but, put things aside and really focus on yourself. Because when you focus on yourself and you look inside, and you start to monitor your mind, that's what's going to really help you along your path. And also, last but not least, separating, you know, your pure awareness would really help me, become a good listener and, feel what other people are trying to convey to me. Was separating my awareness, like my pure awareness, no thoughts in my mind, and then my conscious thoughts, my thoughts that I wanted, you know, things that I really like. It was just coming from me, like a kind of like a not selfish necessarily standpoint, but just of a standpoint of just like it was like an impulse. So while meditating or even just staring out into thin air and just thinking about your thoughts, start to monitor your thoughts and try to separate or distinguish which are the thoughts that are coming, purely from heart, you know, and which ones are coming from just random ideas that are happening around me, because it might happen to many of you that you might be doing something, listening to music, just very quiet, peaceful in your thoughts, and suddenly a random thought will pop into your mind. Yes, that's your intuition. That's your higher self speaking to you and giving you a hint on what you need to do next. So this video is getting really long. I don't know how it got this long to begin with, but you know, let's transcend this ego together. And I don't know how clear I was being about the ego death experience, but if you have any questions, comment on the video, and I will clearly make a video if whoever's watching this likes, specific about certain aspects of the ego, and I can talk about more in depth when it comes to that. But for now, it was a great longish video, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.